Hello again, everyone, and wonderful Wednesday to you. Last time I talked about a Japanese athlete who ran in the marathon in the 1912 Olympics in Stockholm, Sweden. Well, today I want to talk about two U.S. athletes competing in this year's Olympic Games in Japan. And both of these young people are Christians. One is Kyle Snyder, freestyle wrestler, who won the gold 5 years ago in Rio de Janeiro. But since then, in the World Championships, he lost to a Russian wrestler. And he was asked, how will this loss define you? Snyder replied, wins and losses don't define me. What defines me is my identity in Jesus. Well, the other standout is 21-year-old hurdler Sydney McLaughlin. In the U.S. Olympic trials last month, she set the world record, becoming the first woman ever to run the 400-meter hurdles in under 52 seconds. Immediately after that, she was surrounded by members of the media who asked what the biggest difference in her life this year has been. She said, the biggest difference for me this year is my faith in God. And I can do nothing but praise Him right now. She basically quoted Isaiah 25:1, O Lord, I will honor and praise your name, for you are my God. You do such wonderful things. Well, long before Kyle Snyder and Sydney McLaughlin were born, and in fact more than 100 years before the Stockholm Games, another young Christian did something remarkable. 23-year-old Robert Robinson wrote what would become one of the best known and most loved hymns of all time. The second verse begins with these words, Here I raise mine Ebenezer, hither by thy help I'm come. Well, this references 1 Samuel 7:12, where the Ebenezer or the Ebenezer, which is literally a stone monument of remembrance, is a symbol of God's faithfulness. Well, then he goes on to write in the third verse these words, Prone to wonder, Lord, I feel it. Prone to leave the God I love. How prophetic that line was, because in his later years, Robinson seemed to be living out the reality of that line. He had wandered far from the God he loved. Then one day, riding on a stagecoach, he noticed a woman who was deeply concentrating on a book of hymns. And so he asked if any particular hymn caught her interest. And she said, oh yes. And then she began humming the melody of the hymn he had written. Robinson burst into tears and said, Madam, I am the poor unhappy man who wrote that hymn many years ago. I would give 1,000 worlds, if I had them, to enjoy the feelings I had then. By all accounts, this encounter turned Robinson's life around. God used the very words that Robinson had penned early in his life to bring him back, to remind him of his identity in Jesus, to remind him that his faith in God makes all the difference, whether in failure or success, and regardless of the feelings that come and go. Oh, to grace, how great a debtor daily I'm constrained to be. Let thy goodness, like a fetter, bind my wandering heart to thee. That hymn, of course, is Come Thou Fount of Every Blessing.
Come Thou Fount of every blessing, to my heart to sing thy praise. Streams of mercy never ceasing, call for songs of loudest praise. Teach me some melodious sonnet, sung by flaming tongues above. Praise the mount I fixed upon it, mount of thy redeeming blood. Here I raise my Ebenezer, hither by thy help I'm come, and I hope by thy good pleasure safely to arrive at home. Jesus sought me when a stranger, wandering from the fold of God. He to rescue me from danger, interposed his precious blood. Oh, to grace how great the debtor daily I'm constrained to be. Let thy goodness like a fetter bind my wandering heart to thee. Prone to wander, Lord, I feel it, prone to leave the God I love. Here's my heart, oh, take and seal it for thy courts above. Here's my heart, oh, take and seal it for thy courts above. Let thy goodness like a fetter bind my wandering heart to thee. Prone to wander, Lord, I feel it, prone to leave the God I love. Here's my heart, oh, take and seal it for thy courts above. Here's my heart, oh, take and seal